yeah, this is going to be the Farming Minecraft finale. Now, I'll be honest, okay, I don't plan on getting motion to doing this. Um, I'm not typically the person to do that, but there's a good chance that I might towards the end of this. Full disclaimer and all that. Yeah, I'm kind of sad that this is kind of being done the way it is and when it was. This was not my plan for the end of the world. I still had a couple farms that I wanted to build and make videos on, but it the motivation just isn't there for this world for me anymore. The time for it as well just isn't, and like any time I'd sit down and think, right, let's try and record, the next episode of the world, I just didn't want to do it, to be fair. And I think with Interrealm Season 4 starting around the corner, cheers Mika, with Interrealm Season 4 around the corner, and with the hardcore going, I just thought it's probably a good idea just to end it now. Anyway, yeah, no, so yeah, with all the stuff coming up and being final year at uni, I just thought it's probably a good idea to retire this world for now. So yeah, rather than just go a little crazy around the world and looking at each area, I'm gonna go through in order of the videos. So I've got my YouTube playlist up on my left screen, and yeah, that'll be good. But yes, so episode 1 was not actually doing anything. Episode 1 was actually my first stream ever, and was sort of just pottering around the world finding stuff. Obviously we spawned just there, and we slowly made our way over here, and you'll see things loading in that we'll get to later. Is very cool. And we came across our little village over here. And so this is where episode 2 picks up, where we made a little villager breeder there, and our starter house up there. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, so over here we had a little villager breeder that we got set up doing. There's still a few villagers in here. And then we built our little starter house just up here. Which, yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I'm not much of a builder. Actually, okay. Back when I did this, I very much was not much of a builder. Nowadays, it's, I'm getting much more into the rhythm of things, and I have a much more of an idea when it comes to building. But, yeah. I think I'm in here, we can see various storage bits. I've still got a few shulkers lying around here, a few chests. We've got the enchant set up in the corner there. And yeah. This was where the whole world kind of started, really, with this house and the villager breeder. So this was episode 2 that we built this in. Episode 3, if we move on. We're heading back over to the spawn. There's going to be a lot of back and forth between here and spawn as we go through the episodes. But yeah, episode 3, we had the iron farm here. No worries, Figari, thank you for the love. And yeah, no, the decoration for this iron farm actually came a lot later. We're talking probably about a year later. Actually, maybe not quite that late. But yeah. And there's a bit of iron in here. Most of it's actually in my ender chest, I believe. Yeah, there it is. And so yeah, this is going to fuel a whole lot of farms and stuff that we did. All the hoppers and whatnot. Anyway, episode 4. We come down here to my villager trading hall with a twist, as I called the title of the video. Which, yeah, as you can see, a lot of zombie villagers in here at the minute. And that is because this doubles up as a mob switch. So, if I hit a lot of mob caps, we can see that we have 74 out of 70 hostile mobs. It's the, I can't tab, what's this? It's the first couple numbers there. So 70 is the actual mob cap, and I have 74. Excuse me, I have 74 zombified villagers here. And was it a little crazy to do something like this on why are they all periodically looking at me like that? That's creepy. Yeah, kind of crazy to attempt something like this on episode 4. But it works, and yeah, we've got all sorts of villagers here. Obviously, loads of librarians, every single top tier enchant, I think except fishing rod enchants. We've got a load of smith villagers for tools and gear and trading iron mainly. And yeah, this was a pain to get the villagers in, because what I had to do is I used to have my nether portal used to be over here, and so I shipped them from the villager breeder into the nether, then through the nether out here, and then down this hill into the trading hall there. But yeah, again, another build I'm actually really pleased with the sort of horseshoe shape. I actually had to do some landscaping here as well. This hill originally came out a bit further, but I have to sort of shave it back to accommodate this part of the trading hall. That one's a bit less noticeable. Slightly more noticeable is around here. Yeah, where I had to build out the landscape a bit more. And round here as well. I don't know if there's any hollow bits. No, I did properly fill everything in. Where are we up to now? That was episode 4. We've got 48 episodes to get through. A few of them there isn't really anything to show. But yeah. Episode 5, we're going to be flying back over this way. And we are going to go ahead to our hostile mob farm. And sugarcane farm as well, actually. This was two builds in one. Since that episode, actually, I did tweak the design slightly. But yes, I'll put my camera on for this, just so you can see the farm a bit better. So obviously, well, okay, obviously there's nothing spawning at the minute because we have the mob switch turned on. Actually, do I want to turn that off? Maybe I want to turn it off. Nah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So yeah, so obviously we have massive sugarcane farm up the top here. We've got mud here, so we don't need to use hopper minecarts. And then all the sugarcane just filters down into 2 chests like this. I'll be honest, I don't know why I didn't link it together into one storage system, but hey. But anyway, as you can see here, we've got 6 spawning platforms. Now, half of them, the height is actually limited with trapdoors. Originally, it was all the layers. So this was originally supposed to be just a spider and creeper farm for mainly gunpowder. Hence the large amount of sugarcane up here for paper for rockets. Yeah, after I realised I probably want a lot of bones as well for bone meal and stuff, I took half the trapdoors out to accommodate some that way. And so yeah, if we come down here we can see we've got hopper minecart unloaders and a small storage system where we've got gunpowder string and a few bones. But yeah, that is episode 5. On to episode 6, which wasn't actually a build episode. Episode 6 was when I fought the Ender Dragon. I fought it early in this world. Kind of crazy. The next couple episodes actually were fairly empty. Episode 7, the following episode, we were breaking the bedrock. Yeah, this is what we did in episode 7. We broke this square of bedrock. I think there was a bit more to it. But yeah. How did the world have to stop after? Yeah. And then episode 8, the following episode. Once we get to the later episodes and the larger farms, we'll probably stop rattling through the numbers. But yeah, episode 8 was was our cactus farm, which you probably already clocked. It's back over at spawn. And thank you for the hydrate as well. I will grab that when I land. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, this was our little cactus farm. So this is what we built in episode 8. When I built this, I said, don't worry, it's not staying here. Once I get my industrial district, I will move it to the industrial district. And 1 year later, over a year later, it still stood here. Yeah, that's episode 8. It technically shouldn't be here, but it still is, and that's fine. It's going to stay that way. But anywho, episode 9 involves going back through to the Nether, which I don't know why I didn't use the Nether over at spawn. The portal over there. Just ignore that, it's fine. And yeah, this is where we're first gonna go to the end. So yeah, here we are in the end, and now we come to the contents of episode 9, which was our Enderman farm. So we've got our lovely little leaf staircase. Over to our Ender farm. This one, custom design by myself. You have to be a bit careful because they can teleport out this way. I didn't waterlog enough of the leaves. But yeah. So we got this in episode 9. I think this is my first and maybe last attempt at making a farm look good. The video decoration. Yeah. Kind of amusing. But anyway, on to episode 10. Which involves heading back through to the overworld. Back into the Nether. And which farm was it? A short little hop over yonder. Speaking of hops, there's some frogs. And we end up at our swamp-based slime farm, which I recently emptied. And haven't run since, and can't run again at the minute actually because the mob switch is on. Maybe I should have turned the mob switch. But yes, this one obviously, I'm sure a good chunk of people will have seen the Elmango video or seen Doc's version on Hermitcraft. But yes, using the fact that brown mushrooms emit a light level of 1 to farm only slimes, and it's amazingly efficient, which is kind of crazy. And you can see there's a couple other projects around and about here that we'll come to in due time. But yeah, that was my slime farm, and yeah, there's still a chest of junk over here that I've just not cleared away. Oh dear. It's fine, no one has to know. I'm also going to get some more rockets out because I am almost out. Where is this? Ah! So the next episode, episode 11, that was when I went netherite mining. I don't actually know if I can find my first netherite mine. If I had to guess, it was somewhere down here. We can have a little look in. We can. Yeah, here we go. It must be here. Oh yeah, because I made this little like dinky little room out here, didn't I? Yeah, I remember now. And so yeah, we were blasting our way down corridors, getting decked out in level 11 netherite. And not only that, we started using our netherite, and this is one of the things that I loved about this world, to make a lodestone network. So in my toolbox here, I have a whole series of lodestones, and they take me around the world to various portals. Yeah, so rather than necessarily having a physical hub, maybe like marked out paths, it's all kept like bare on the nether roof, just portals and then lodestones. And I've loved it, I really like it. The other thing up here is this is where I farmed the brown mushrooms to make the slime farm. I've not bothered to clear that up either, because I'm that lazy apparently. But anyway, episode 12. Episode 12 is where this world really started getting into the funky stuff. Okay, I guess you can include farming slimes and brown mushrooms funky, but yeah, this is some of the really funky stuff. This was the start of the industrial district, where it all began over a year ago. Now we'll be coming back here later, but if we come through this little gateway out here, and obviously it didn't look like this when I came through it, because I've since done a lot of building stuff around here. But yes, we have an end gateway. The bottom bit of bedrock just there. We have an end gateway right in the middle of the void. And so this was, I did this according to a tutorial by Pixelriffs and a bit of looking at the wiki to confirm some values. I won't explain how it all works here, but if you want to go check the video out, those are my socials. You can have a little look around there at that stuff. But without going too much further around there, because we'll come back to that a lot. There's a lot out there to look at. We can move on back to spawn for another little farm. Much calmer this time. Also, the world has now reached day 2222. Look at that. Isn't that fun? But yes, episode 13. Our little honey farm still has a little bee stuck there. And this one I probably will actually... There's a few farms around here actually that I will be adapting for the introduction of the crafter. So, I don't know, maybe it'll be fun to do a stream about that. Because we can auto craft these into honey blocks, that's the big one. Let's craft these into honey blocks and immediately feed the bottles back into the system. And then we have the honey thing this side, shears here and there. So yeah, kinda crazy. Anyway, episode 14, we went and raided our first ancient city. This was back pre-armor trims as well, so not really anything to note of there other than we've got our little swift sneak. Very nice, of course. And episode 15, it is back to the nether we go. Was episode 15 was this little farm over yonder. Now this is our Magma Cream and Roguelite farm. Which obviously does work because it's the nether mob switch isn't on, which we will come to in a second. And yeah, now this thing is pretty much completely full of froglites. And it's got a little bit of magma cream in here. Most of the magma cream actually that got used from here went into, oh you can't see it from here, but it went into the magma blocks that I needed for the gold farm. Again, we'll come to later. And so yeah, so we have an on switch for the storage system, which should just send the minecart around like that. Yeah. And yeah, everything then probably gets sent out here and popped around along the ice. And that was, where is that? That is episode 15. So we're about a third of the way through now, onto episode 16. And this is where we come to this thing. Own little gravity block keeper. And so basically all you do is you put any gravity affected block, with the exception of, I think, the dragon egg. I don't think it works with dragon egg, or perhaps anvils as well. But yes, so we do that. We turn this chunk loader on by flicking the lever. You can see the item periodically gets sent through and sent back. We turn this on. And we go through, and you can see we have gravity blocks being duped. And so what happens is blocks fly out in irrelevant directions. They get broken by trying to land on this slab, a full block, and then they just get sent around a storage system here. And that can be turned off like that. And we can go through, and that's all good. That's the gravity block keeper and the chunk loader off. This was sort of my design. I've pieced it together from various videos. Probably primarily on Mango. But yeah, all loads of different people that I've pieced together. I probably couldn't list off, I'll be honest. Mainly because of memory issues. Yeah. Anyway, for our next thing, I'm probably actually going to break out one of our little compasses. Now if we follow it over yonder, we'll come to that portal later as well. We have ourselves a whole host of zombie villagers. Now if we hit tab, you will notice again in the top left hand corner, we have 70 out of 70. Yep, we have a nether mob switch. Works exactly the same as the overworld mob switch. However, rather than using the spawn chunks, we have a chunk loader here that is apparently on. We don't want that to be on. And yeah, so anytime we want to use that, we come over here, we turn the chunk loader on, and yeah, our nether is hostile mob free, which is very nice. With of course the exception, as with any mob switch, of spawners. So blaze spawners will still work. Anyway. Let's put that away as we head back to the end for episode 18. Now this is our first wither skeleton, wither rose farm, sorry. Now this was built in 1.19.3, I think? And the problem with that version was it actually broke the mechanic where... Okay, no, it didn't break the mechanic where any mob, if killed by a wither explosion, dropped a wither rose. It only broke it for Enderman, which is pretty much how any safe, easy wither rose farm is actually made. And we will come to one of those later in the video, because I did build one to get, I think, large amounts of black dye, or I just did it for the fun of it. Can't really remember. But yeah, so this is a design by ENX84. Thoroughly recommended. Again, if you want links to any of the farms and stuff, then do go to the relevant video in the playlist, and yeah, there'll be links in the descriptions to the relevant videos, creators, or if there isn't one, it would probably mean it's my design. So yeah, and this worked just with snow golems, because you'd always get the snowballs back from the wither breaking the snow layers down here. And yeah, very, very cool little design. Anyway, if we move on to episode 19, this is the first case really of where we're going to have to fly quite a long way. Because the reason we wanted that wither rose farm was to build a wither skeleton farm. And yet this was one of the custom design farms that I've done, specifically for this world. Okay, it's not specifically for this world. I'll turn the collection system on as well. But what I have is, I have not quite a double fortress, sorry, a double crossroads in this fortress. I had two very close to each other. So what I did was, yeah, basically built two wither rose farms, or wither skeleton farms, sorry. Each of them 3 layers, and then I just sort of joined them together. And as you can see, there is quite a lot of wither skeletons. Which, as you'll see from down here, yields quite a lot of wither skeleton skulls. Yeah, I'll be honest, a lot of the time I've spent here has actually been mainly for bones and bone meal. I've got a couple farms that use quite a lot of bone meal. And yeah, this was always the best farm for it. But anyway, if we head back up, we're going to get to go see the first thing I added to the Industrial District. So yeah, we get to go see the first thing that I ever added to the Industrial District, which to this day is one of my best puns I've come up with, I think. I mean, the Industrial District has been an amazing project. It's probably my favourite project I've done in Minecraft up to date. I didn't quite fill it up, which is a bit sad. I would have loved to fill it with more farms and stuff, but there's still a significant amount of stuff here. But anyway, the first thing, that I put in the Industrial District was my concrete converter. You can see here it's currently full of black concrete. Now this has since been ever so slightly tweaked since this one was made. I added this little circuit on here, these filters so I could farm dirt, That was so I had enough dirt to run this, which we'll get to later. But yeah, this uses the, I think this is the first farm I have that uses the iceberg lettuce TNT duper design. It's a slimeless TNT duper. Very, very cool. And yeah, you'll notice that design a lot around in my farms. Mainly because it's a lot cleaner, and how it dupes the TNT, it drops the TNT straight down. There's not really any random momentum. You can always be like sure where it's going to land. Hey, how far through are we? That was episode 20. Now episode 21. We get to go have a peek. Or we get to go look at one of the nether monstrosities. Which is my absolutely enormous... I say my. It's actually a combination of designs. But yeah, my gold and bartering farm. So actually let's start off with the bartering farm. The bartering farm is a logical geek core design. I love this thing. It's very good. Very fast. Tons of blackstone you can get from it. Tons of other stuff. You got 24 piglins in there. Automatic 24 gold ingot dispenser, just using a burnout block. And yeah, then all the items just get launched along here. There's a series of filters, and then fire at the end for any excess. And so the only things that it can't filter are the sort of bottles. Okay, well it can filter the bottles, but obviously it can't filter between fire resistance and water bottles. And then the iron boots and soul speed boots, which technically could be adapted to filter out the soul speed 3 books with a laze, if you really wanted to. Similarly, you could filter out the fire resistance potions with a laze. That could be an interesting thing to try and add on the end here. But yeah, obviously all other stuff, ender pearls, string, soul sand, quite a lot of soul sand. Iron nuggets is a surprisingly good iron farm. Gravel I don't really need because I have the duper, but it's fine. And yeah, and then the second part to this, which is an Ilmango design, is the gold farm. This gold farm was an experience to get working, to say the least. I also fell off it once and died. There's a short on my YouTube channel about that. Actually no, technically it is working, because yeah, we never. But yeah, Ilmango hasn't actually made a video on this farm exactly, or at least not like a block by block one with a schematic and all that. This was, I pieced this together from when he built this in one of his Psycraft videos. I absolutely love the design, crazy kind of roller coaster. And yes, an unbelievable amount of turtle eggs. I must have spent most of my week sat breeding turtles when I made this farm. But yeah, basically all that happens is minecarts get sent along, pick up the zombified piglins, come across here, drop them into these 2 chambers here. We use the armor stand to get sweeping edge to kill them. And that way it's actually looting based. So compared to your sort of standard one, your standard gold farm where you sort of just drop the piglins to their death, you actually also have a chance to get gold ingots there. And you get more gold nuggets because of the looting sword. Now, what happens to the drops? Well, you'll notice we've got a couple rails to our sides here. This is actually a pickup system for hopper minecarts. And then if I float down here, you can see this is where the items end up. There's a drop chute just down here. And the drops actually go through this nether portal, so I have a multi-dimensional storage system. They then come through here into the storage system, which I still haven't fixed this honey block. And yeah, so these 4 are for gold nuggets. Yeah, I've got a couple shulker boxes there. And actually this is a shulker box loaded for gold ingots. And so what this does is, rather than store the shulker boxes of ingots, it spits them straight into a water stream here, and straight back through to the nether, where they land out here in this cage, go into a shulker box, unload it, and the gold ingots actually get fed straight into the bartering farm. So yeah, so the bartering farm here, logical peak-boy design, the gold farm bit, my mango design, and then I just use sort of my redstone knowledge and stuff to link everything together, basically. And that is episode 21. Episode 22 brings us back to the end. And not quite the industrial district. We're going to go past it to our shulker farm here. Ignore the wither, that's fine, that's just a witherer's farm. And this, up until now, I don't think any of my videos really had much. Oh wait, wait. Sorry, no. Oh wow, a couple of the videos actually really have had a lot of traction. I don't really pay much attention to the videos until, or you know, after a couple weeks since the video's been uploaded. I don't really pay much attention to views. But I'm actually looking at it now. The concrete factory video, that's had 349 views on it, which is actually bonkers. And the gold farm video had 299 views on it, also crazy. However, the shulker farm here, this was something special when I uploaded this video. So you'll probably recognise the design, it's by ending credits. Most of the hermits use it. Most content creators in general use it. Now, I built this and did the time lapse and stuff for it, and I've actually tweaked the design slightly. So basically, rather than having a slightly awkwardly positioned on-off switch somewhere around here, I put a bit of circuitry in here for this on-off switch here. And what this does is triggers all of the necessary pistons and whatnot on. And I've also added an extra storage system down here. So, what am I saying? Yeah, so the shulkers will die up here in the... Actually, I can turn it on. I can turn it on and show you. If you want a more in-depth explanation, you can check either my video on this or ending credits video itself. I'd probably recommend you check ending credits, not just for supporting the original creator, but also as the designer. He's a much better grasp on it than I do. So yeah, you can see shulkers teleported up here. The drops then end up in the hopper because soul sand is less than a full block. And we have a smart dropper here that drops it through the powder snow to get rid of any momentum. So it lands directly onto this hopper. That hopper. And so we can have storage fully down here. But yeah, the real smile, like I'm actually doing content YouTube videos moment hit me at this video, because I always like to just see how the video is done in the evening from when I've uploaded it. So my videos all get set to upload on 11 AM on Saturday morning. And that Saturday evening, I was just out in the evening, opened up my phone to see that ending credits actually commented on my video for this, which is mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And yeah, they liked the farm, they liked my explanation, and they liked my additions to it, and I'm like, you know, for me, that was like kind of bonkers. You know, it would be like if I made, you know, if I made a nice meal from a recipe book, and the recipe book author came up to me, tasted it, and went, "Oh, that's tasty." Like, it's crazy. Yeah, that's probably been one of my most special moments from this series. And I mean, this series, this world, has a lot of special moments for me. Even if you just ignore the fact that, you know, looking at how far I've come as a creator. Crazy. Crazy. Anyway, on to episode 23. These next few episodes, this was part of my little mini-series on tree farming. Because I need to double check which farm we did first. Yeah. So you can see ahead of me here I have 4 different wood farms. These farms here cover, with the exception of bamboo, which is covered there. At the time I did this series though, it was still 119. These covered every single wood in the game. Now if I come over to here, this right here, this is by far my proudest achievement in the game. This is a tree farm that I designed from scratch, straight from the ground up. No videos, no nothing. This is, obviously, I'm aware it does look like some other tree farms. But when I sat down to design this, I had nothing external guiding me. I just sat down and was like, I want to design a tree farm that works with acacia. And that's what I did. I spent a day at my desk building this up, and it works. And it works pretty well. And yeah, to this day it's by far my proudest achievement in the game. To have designed this, to have solved various problems that I had in Redstone completely independently, is something else for me. Something else for me. The cherry on the cake. Excuse the pun. But the cherry on the top, cherry on the cake, whatever the phrase is. Was that when Mojang announced cherry trees? I mean, as you can see where this is going from here, but I tested them with it, and this farm does actually work with cherry trees. So I can hit the on switch here. Go to whole use. And yeah, off goes the TNT. So what happens here, I'll explain it briefly. Any TNT farm always have to do this. Tree gets bone mealed, observer detects the change in the fence. Tree trunks get pushed out, leaves get broken, and it's. And then we have when the farm gets turned on, we send a signal up here to turn on this hop clock, and that just alternates these TNT creepers, which again, obviously, you probably recognise now. Here's the iceberg lettuce Slimus design. Yeah. This also has sapling return. Although some will get stuck in here because it only fires once every tree, and you know, if they get more than one sapling per tree. Also, it's a bit janky to get around here, granted. But there's also stick storage. Just there. So any sticks you get from breaking the saplings come out. And then around here, if you're doing oak trees, you have apples. I need to turn the power off. And yeah, again, a lot of interesting solutions involving like some weird item filter, jiggery pokery like this to get around the space issues. There's a cake in here to limit the length of a pulse extender. some very crazy stuff. This whole circuit here to get the observer detection thing going correctly. And yeah, I just to look at something like this and be able to say I did this entire thing on my own and it works well is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Anyway, next, the next video, episode 24, is this one up here. This one is quite a far away throw from our lovely 6-wood now tree farm there. And this was my attempt at designing a dark oak tree farm. It's not very good, I'll lie. It's a bit pants. It does work. It doesn't work very well. A lot gets left behind. Let me show you what I mean. What you do, you get in this minecart. You aim here. And yeah. It's we have a couple flying machines. And they go across. As I said, bone meal goes, it gets shut off when the tree grows, which again we're using a similar system but with a leaf here. Tree grows, these get pushed up so the flying machines don't like stick to any of this stuff. And yeah, of course this does mean that there's a load of wood up here. It gets broken. David, thank you for the hydrate once more. So yeah, not quite so proud of this farm. Oh wait, it has to be. Did I just break it? I don't think I broke it. But yeah, I'm pleased it works. It doesn't work very well. It's slow, but yeah, but hey. Again, it's that case of I've designed it from scratch and it works. I can't complain that much. Yeah, and that was episode 24. Which brought us to 25, which was our first world tour. So up until then, that was all that had been built. None of this, none of any of this stuff here. And yeah, but we've got a lot more to go on with. Episode 26. Over here was our nether tree farm. And this is a Razorworks design. This is one of the earliest nether tree farm designs, I think. I still like to use it because it's pretty simple to get set up, pretty simple to build. And it works well. Nothing too crazy going on here. Excuse me. Yes, it can be a bit tricky getting the minecarts in here, but fine. We got there eventually. And yeah, these farms, what I love about these is they are fully self-sustaining as well. So yeah, all the warp blocks will basically get fed into composters and completely feed back. Even when you filter out the shroomlights as well. It's very, very cool. That brings us to episode 27, which was the last of our sort of 4-episode mini-series on wood farming. And this is our mangrove farm. If I can remember how to get in. That'll do. Obviously, you get the vines from the mangroves, which tend to cover everything up quite a bit. Boy, I definitely don't want to accidentally break one of my flying machines. I also put a little sapling farm here, which actually is empty of bone meal. And the idea is you block the bone meal this block here 4 times in a row, and you can basically sit here holding left click. Obviously you have to be careful you don't punch out the dispenser. But yeah, so all you do is you stand here with some mangrove saplings. Yeah, and actually I can tell you. Wow, that was loud. And yeah, this isn't my design, this is designed by Iceberg Lettuce. Why is that on 100%? Gee. And yeah, this is where I came across the slimeless TNT tuber, which I now use pretty much where I can in my farms. So yeah, you get your mangrove logs and the roots there as well. They get pushed up, across, split in the block stream, and then eventually, like so, they get turned off. And so they then end up in the filter system down here, where we've got a couple filters for logs just to deal with the speed at which they're being brought through, and then the mangrove roots as well, which I feel like I should maybe try and use these more. The problem is yeah, because they are really cool blocks, and the problem is they don't lend themselves very well to my build style or like typical build palettes. So yeah. So that is the mangrove farm. Episode 27. Episode 28? And you'll see a lot more of these episodes we're going to be hanging around here. Episode 28 was our village base. What farm is that? That is this one here, which is our wheat farm. Nope, that's our pumpkin. Oh, wait. Is this the wheat farm? I can't remember which farm this is. It is the wheat farm. It's the wheat farm, which is this one. Which, as you can see, there's a lot of wheat. I needed wheat actually for target blocks for some of these farms. And of course, there's bone meal as well. From the excess seeds and the excess wheat as well. Pretty standard farm design. Farmers inventory full of seeds, so they replant the wheat, but the wheat just sort of lands on the floor. I think one of them doesn't have a full inventory, hence they can keep picking it up. But yeah, so they all farm the wheat here, but they can't actually get to the composter because of trapdoors. And so, yeah, there's then a there's then a lot of hopper minecarts that go underneath here that pick up the wheat, drop them out here, and then they get sent. Storage system. Episode 29. We're actually going to have to go back through. Right, we're going back to the overworld for an overworld based farm this time because I needed blue ice. So a lot of my farms that I was using obviously have water-based storage systems. Ice is obviously key for those, and ice is just good in general for if you've got places with water sources. If you break an ice block without silk touch, it will turn into a water source. I think there's a requirement with it to do with like adjacent ice blocks. I think there has to be like 2 or less ice blocks adjacent to it. Yeah, very, very useful for item storage systems and stuff. Now this was my first, and I think my only attempt in this world at, or real attempt, at making a farm look good. As you can possibly see here. Nothing crazy. Just a bit of a regular pattern around here. With stuff on the corners as well. Bit of copper, bit of blackstone, and some dark oak. And a bit of warp fence stuff there, and some iron bars as well. This is when I really was sort of getting into texture variation as well. Trying that out, different types of copper, the cracked bricks versus the regular bricks. Yeah. This was also where I actually properly discovered the annoyance of the fact, why are there no like cracked brick variants? Why are there no like cracked polished blackstone brick stairs? Or cracked polished blackstone brick slabs? Very annoying. And it's the same for every type of cracked variant. Cracked stone bricks, for example. But yes. So we come up here and we can see my little ice farm. We've got the nucleating block in the center here. The ice then spreads out. You can see it spawning, or generating, I guess. And then, yeah, every day and every night, flying machine goes back. Well, I think it's every day actually. Yes, it's every day. Flying machine goes across, pushes everything down, then ends up in here. Like so. Do I have any empty sections at all, or did I AFK last time I cleared it out? Oh, I've got one empty section here. Yeah, basically when I need to, I just mine out layers. So this upper layer here actually, this is at such a level that I can basically walk along here, obviously where the ice is, and just hold left click facing up and it will break exactly the right amount of blocks as I need to, and then I can just mine out the blocks below as I need. I think it's very cool. There's also, I think, a creeper explosion bit somewhere around here. There's a hole in the side somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Gonna ignore that. Anywho. What is the next farm? Oh, I remember the next farm. Next farm is going to take us back to our industrial district. And this was at the point where I was then prepping for 1.20. It's crazy to think that was 7 months ago now. Sheesh. How time flies. And yeah, it was my bamboo farm. And my bamboo farm, the video was a little on the scuffed side, let's say. I can't even remember why, but I was very tired and rushing stuff at that point. It's not one of my proudest videos. You know, if I was pointing towards my channel and say watch this video, I wouldn't pick my bamboo farm, I'm gonna be honest. Lots of silly mistakes in the design of the farm and building it, such as forgetting that bamboo needs light to grow. But it works eventually, and the whole flying machine thing. This was one of these farms, and you'll see with a couple of these farms around here. So the wheat farm was one, as melon farm. Yeah, the bamboo farm is one of these farms here that fits inside of a single chunk. As you can see, dripstone falling. Oh, cool. Now, should I have put that constraint on it for this farm? Probably not. Perfectly honest, probably not. But the farm works. If I hit this something or other, where's the on switch? Oh, it's there. If I hit this on switch, you'll see it goes across like so. And basically, this is set on a hopper. Yeah, there's a hopper clock here. Every time it goes across, which I can't remember how frequently it is, the flying machine gets sent back and forth. Obviously, we've used honey here, so they can stick together. Yeah. We can do that again. And yeah, we have hopper minecarts to pick everything up. We don't need bamboo because I do have quite a significant amount of it. So yeah, that was my prepping for 1.20 farm. Because the next episode, episode 31, I actually went out and started exploring 1.20. So we went and found some trail ruins. I think we found a camel, as you can tell from the thumbnail of that video. All sorts of fun things, etc. Now, episode 32, we're going to stick it, right? In fact, we're going to move one chunk this way. Episode 32 is my dripstone farm now. Oh, right, here it is. I think I heard some more dripstone actually fall down. See it come up? There it is. Still working. I love to see it. I love to see it. So yeah, this is my single chunk dripstone farm. Why did I need a massive dripstone farm like this? You'll see in a second. Yeah, as you can see, it fits inside a single chunk, and you can extend this all the way to build height if you really want to. It's got quite a high setup cost, not gonna lie. But yeah, I wanted to build one that didn't use flying machines, one that I could just load and unload as and when I needed. Yeah, and so that's where this comes in. And basically, at the middle of each layer, there's an observer. So as soon as the dripstone meets up in the middle, because dripstone can either grow from the ceiling or it will drip and grow from the floor. So as soon as this is all max length, it will break, picked up by the hoppers, sent to this smart dropper here, where again we're using the powder snow trick to cancel any momentum, which just drops it all the way down, where it gets sent to the storage system. Yes, now why did we need so much dripstone? It wasn't actually for next episode. I don't think I'd actually designed the farm by this point. But, so we'll come into it a bit, but not quite just yet. But we needed it for that. There's a reason I didn't build it in the next episode, because despite how big that farm is, it's still quite slow, just of the nature of dripstone. Because it's random tick based. I think it's like about as slow as the wheat farm, pretty much. But yes, we needed that for this, of which there was a lot of dripstone stuff. Technically I didn't need to use dripstone blocks. That's probably a bit of a silly decision on my part. So yeah, next time I build that, I'm not going to be using dripstone blocks. I'm using something simpler, like wood, perhaps. But yes, the next episode in the series, which was episode 33, was our Enderman-based Sculk farm. If my brother is still in chat, he may recognise this, because I actually designed this whilst I was staying at his. And yes, now when I built it in this world, I actually tweaked the design slightly. I added auto shut off for each layer here. But also, can we appreciate the bottom design of Sculpt Catalysts? That's so cool. So yeah, every time each layer gets or each storage cube gets completed, like here, we get a signal sent all the way back, which yeah fires these, which basically locks the pistons here for the stone generator. We can probably see what it's like in action. Obviously, we don't have to worry about any Sculpt sensors or shriekers around here because none of these are naturally generated. First things first, turn on the Enderman farm. Let that start going. And you can see we get Enderman falling down. And we get our stone turning into sculpt. Now it took a lot of time to try and get the timing on this circuit right because it needs to be slow enough that all the stone turn to sculpt. But yeah, and you can see all it is just a bunch of pistons pushing around, and then like this, bottom here, and then everything gets pushed out into giant storage cubes. Very cool farm, another one I'm very proud of, particularly adding in the auto shut-off feature. Yeah. Here we go, episode 34, the Lava Farm. Also known as the Lava Cube, as I so affectionately call it. Another one of my favourite farms, not necessarily because of like designing and stuff, just because it's fun to use and look at. I mean, look at this. All you do is you fill your inventory up, you grab a bucket, you grab another bucket, stand on here, which sets the piston feed tape off, and you hold down use, and you get refilled with buckets, empty buckets, and this is why you need your inventory to be full, because otherwise the lava bucket will just go into your inventory. When your inventory is full, it pops out, gets picked up here, and then we have a shulker box loader. And you can just follow the piston feed tape round, it's amazing. Goes up that way, and then back down. And you can see each time up. And this actually fires an empty bucket down every time something lands in this hopper here. So if the lava bucket lands in the hopper, it gives you another empty bucket. And yeah, so the activation system is that piece of string there. Yeah, obviously we don't have any shop boxes of lava buckets at the minute, clearly. Just stick everything in there for now. What did I want this lava farm for? I keep having to go back and check what order I did my episodes in. This was 7 months ago now. My brain's not that good. What's happened in the last 7 months? Yeah, I wanted it for this. There's a reason I built this so close. Because I actually have shulker box loaders, or unloader rather, for the lava buckets for my furnace array. Now I believe this does work with actual fuel, as like coal and stuff as well. Yeah. This episode was... This is another one of those episodes that was slightly scuffed. I believe this is when I was in the middle of moving house. So my recording setup was either partially taken down or partially like put up. And so when I was actually recording the video, I couldn't actually speak whilst I was recording the video. I was just screen recording playing Minecraft, and I had to do the voiceover in post. Which was amusing because there was also a good number of days between actually recording the footage and doing the voiceover, so I was trying to watch the footage and trying to time my voiceover as to what's going on the screen, and it wasn't always quite lining up properly. It wasn't helped by the fact that my original schematic for this didn't actually work properly. Since that episode I actually had to go ahead and tweak the design slightly. There was issues here with Hopper Minecarts picking up stuff they shouldn't do, and yeah. So, but this thing is now fixed. This is actually technically 2-in-1 furnace array, so you've got blast furnaces on one side, regular on the other. You could also swap one out for smokers as well. But yeah. And so there's a series of Hopper Minecarts that go around depositing fuel or smeltables. See up here, the empty buckets from the lava buckets end up here. This changes whether we're going for the blast furnaces or the regular furnaces. Excuse me. This is where you put your regular smeltables. Just say you want to smelt a load of sand into glass, chuck the sand in here, flick the lever, it'll start depositing them. Chuck any ores in here, it'll deposit those. This furnace type on off, this is important because this determines where the fuel is actually going. Yeah, and then our item output is here. You can see where I have a ton of green dye, because that was my demonstration item, cactus into green dye. And then we have our fuel system here. Everything is of course denoted by redstone lamps. And then we have collection system turning on and off as well. Lots of fun stuff with Hopper Minecarts. This is also where I figured out that hanging signs make fantastic railings, particularly if you use like glowing stuff as well on them. Like I love farm design and stuff from this. Really cool. Anyway, so that was my smelter, episode 35. Now we get to go to the big boy. Episode 36. Where is it? There it is. My fully automatic sort of mud slash clay farm. As in, the mud and clay part is automatic. The material input on the dirt is not, sadly. But yeah, sadly I don't actually have any dirt on me. Kind of annoying. To demonstrate this. But yeah, it's a stubborn piece of mud there that's not converted. There's definitely footage it's been undone. But yeah, I've shown this off a few times on stream. You can watch the video for it as well. But again, another farm I'm really proud of. Completely custom design by myself. There's a couple block split, but because this is zero tick, this is a zero tick mud farm. At least the input is 0 tick. It then splits it off into 2 streams here, 1 and 2, and then each of those gets split off 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So you can either have it set to mud mode, where it will just go straight into this blast chamber. Again, Iceberg Latest TNT design. And yeah, so we'll be getting mud. I'll be needing a lot of this for Interim Season 4, nudge nudge wink wink. Pops down there. Or if you have click these levers, which I have, it'll actually send the mud off in this way, which sends it across a giant dripstone array basically, where it will drain into clay. And so we have an automatic clay farm. Now, I'm very excited because this is one farm that I will be adapting for 1.21, one of many farms around here actually. Was with the introduction of the crafter. When the clay gets blown up, it will turn into clay balls. With the introduction of the auto crafter, I can actually run those clay balls into an auto crafter setup to convert back to clay blocks initially. Which technically means from this farm I could fully automate glazed terracotta. All the way down to that. Because you can craft the clay balls back into clay, you can smelt the clay into terracotta, you can use the autocrafter again to craft the terracotta into coloured terracotta, and then smelt the coloured terracotta into glazed terracotta. And technically, if you wanted to go all the way, you could create an automatic dirt farm, either with a moss and azalea trees, or 2x2 spruce trees to convert moss to podzol. It would all start with a moss farm, basically. I think for an automatic dirt farm, yeah. And you could do the entire process without ever touching a block. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, this is one of the main farms that I'm particularly wanting to hook an autocrafter setup to. Obviously, I still want to keep some of the clay balls because, you know, if anybody wants bricks to make brick blocks or flower pots, they're still useful for that. I myself don't really touch bricks or flower pots. Maybe I will in the future though, as I get the hang of decoration and stuff a bit more. But yeah, I do quite like this farm though for all the different coloured lines of concrete. It's always fun when you look at a redstone contraption or farm, and you've got like all your coloured bits and bobs. But hey, that then is episode 36. Episode 37 was a little bit of a break from the farms. And episode 37 was 3 streams in the making? Yeah, 3 streams in the making. Plus extra recording. Where did I test this way back? I love how I've had this world for over a year and I still don't know which way I'm going out of the nether portals. But yes, for episode 37, 1.20 was still fairly new. I went around and gathered every single armor trim in the game. And I made my own little dome. And here they're stored. Dune, Wild, Sen. What's this one? This is smithing template. Sentry, that one is Sentry. Vex? This is testing my armor trim knowledge now. Coast, that one I know. Tide, the absolute problem child. Actually, no, that wasn't that was one of the problem children. That took me like 21 Elder Guardians to kill before I finally got one. For an apparent 20% drop. And up here we have the harder ones. We've got obviously Silence. Don't get me started on Silence. 10 ancient cities, 9.5 hours across 3 streams to get that. Ward, the Snout from the Bastion, Rib from, that one is Rib, isn't it? Yeah, Rib from Fortress. Then we've got Razor, I want to say. Razor. If I get all of these, I'm going to be incredibly good. I think this one's Wayfinder. Oh, what are the other ones called? Portals just for you. Silence is ridiculous. So cool, yeah. Oh, I can't even remember what they're called, let alone they are. You've got Wayfinder, Razor. I can't even remember what they're called. Post, that's it. And Shaper, that's it. Of course. Okay, so those two are the only ones out of all of them that I couldn't remember the names of. That's pretty good going. And then of course we have the nothing template here. And yeah, got them displayed on black dyed leather armor with quartz trim. Just so you know, get the proper accentuation. I do think the Silence looks pretty cool as that. yeah, my own little dome. This was, look at the texturing that I did on this. I was pretty pleased with it. And the texturing with the oxidized copper and the warped wood and a bit of glow lichen, you know. Okay, it's not the greatest texturing. They don't blend together particularly well. But it's not bad. This, you'll probably gather from a lot of my builds, this sort of combination of blocks is probably my favourite. Cobble deep slate, strip spruce, copper, or any other blue block. They just tie in very well. I have a tendency towards cold colour palettes. You'll notice a lot of it with my season 4 Interrealms base that I've got going. If you've not seen the VODs from that, and yeah, I do love this style. Anyway, that was the Armor Challenge for episode 37. Episode 38. Don't worry, Elaine, we're getting close to your favourite farm. Here it is. My flower farm. For all the different dyes, we've got orange, pink, white, light grey, white. Wait, sorry, no. Orange, pink, light grey, because for some reason white tulips don't make white dye. I don't get why. Maybe I need to change this, because why would you call it a white tulip and then not have it make white dye? I'm sorry for getting worked up about this, but it very much frustrates me. Oxide daisies, which are also light grey, lily of the valleys, which are white dye, and then blue dye, and then oh, that's bone meal input. Yeah, this farm does use a lot of bone meal. It's also reasonably laggy. As you can see, my frames just dropped to like 50-ish whenever that's going on. Because there's a lot of particles for it to keep up with. Not to mention the lighting updates, because I never built anything over the top of this. And then, yeah, everything goes around here, gets filtered out, or it gets composted. Eventually it gets composted on this side. There it goes. And yeah, again, not one of my favourite design farms. This can technically be extended as far as, well, as far as Redstone will load, basically. Because of the way it's designed. And yeah, again, another farm and design from scratch that I'm very pleased of. Like this series was very much. There's been a few stages to this series, but particularly the second half of this world, I very much was I was much more into designing my own stuff rather than just copying a tutorial and explaining how it works. This series was never meant to be me designing farms. Let me get on the way to the next location, because that one is a far away. It was never meant to be me designing farms and stuff. This series, it was I would build a farm, usually through a tutorial, and I'd explain how it works. Simple as, but I think as I got more and more into building farms, understanding more and more how stuff worked myself, I started really wanting to give it a shot at designing stuff, and in most cases it went really successfully. I've always loved the Redstone aspect of the game, but actually going for Redstone from scratch was a really interesting, like, personal development into sort of how I like to play Minecraft. You know, even now I'm sort of, again, still going through a bit of change development as I'm stepping more out into building, which is, I'm loving it. I've very much settled into a build style of lots of angular geometric shapes. And yeah, it's like, this series is just, it's been really special to me, not just from the point of view that it's what I started doing content creation from, but from how I've grown in, you know, the Minecraft community, in other creator communities, how I've grown just as a gamer and playing the game myself. It's been really special for me. And I am sad to be retiring the world, but you know, nothing can really last forever. I can only do so much in a world, and you know, it's only because of this world that the opportunities for some of the new stuff I've got coming up have come about. It's only because of this world, you know, because I sat down and started doing this. Yeah, it's mad. I mean, to have had this world for over a year, to still be streaming and making YouTube videos, it was never. I don't think I ever talked about this bit about it. I know I've talked about before that, you know, making YouTube videos and stuff never started out as something serious for me. Just something as a bit of fun I could do on the side after I bought my PC. But it never really started out as something that would be particularly long term either. So to still be here 16 months later, sat here streaming, to have been paid today for doing this is... If you told me when I started doing this that, you know, give it a year and a half, or just under, you know, you'll be waking up in the morning and there will be money in your bank account because you've been streaming, it still seems kind of unreal to me, to be honest. And I love it. Like, for me, this is something that I can do to switch off. I know it can kind of seem counterintuitive to some people. I know for some people, you know, content creation and stuff is quite busy. But for me, it's just been... it's always fun. I love sitting down, hitting go live, you know, streaming, chatting to everybody. You know, sometimes there's not loads of people in the chat, that's fine. You know, I can see that if there's people lurking and stuff, that's good enough for me. You know, I don't mind it a bit. I don't mind if chat's completely silent. I'm just here to play games and have a good time. And it really has been special for me. But anyway, we are here. We are here at episode 39. Getting to some of the slightly more recent stuff now. Although this was still 5 months. This does not feel like it was 5 months ago since I built this. Now this is a fun farm. This is possibly my most fun farm. It's a little blaze like roller coaster type thing. Inspired by a Logical Geek Boy design that I saw a long time ago. I didn't pull up the video for reference when I was like building the design for this. It's very similar, if not the same. It runs on the same principle anyway. Players get picked up by minecarts. They get suffocated to one hit and dropped in a hole. If I step forwards onto here and hit that lever, aim at that. It's there, you'll see both these spawners become active. And of course the problem with spawner based farms is they're not necessarily the fastest. Yeah, you can see they get pushed by the lava there. You can see we've got some spawning just over there. And yeah, sometimes some of them don't get picked up by minecarts, which is very annoying. But that's fine. And yeah, the minecarts just feed back through, so they come up here, get deposited into the killing chamber, like so. And yeah, we use Sweeping Edge to get rid of them. This obviously allows us to use looting. We can get loads of those rods. Yeah, there have been a few issues in the past with these farms, and David, thank you for another hydrate. Cheers. That is actually my drink gone. Oops. But yeah, this was an interesting farm to build, as you can tell from outside here. Yeah, you definitely want totems and fire resistance potions when you're doing this, because particularly if you're in a Soulsland Valley. Yeah, things get a little crazy. Anyway, that's the base farm, episode 37, Elaine's favourite. Episode 40, as we approach the end of the series. You can tell I was really sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel of this one. This is my chorus fruit farm, which I think I showed off in a recent stream, actually. It feeds it into shot boxes. This was when I wanted end rods for something, and I can't remember what. Or it was I just wanted the ability to make end rods. But anyway, yeah, you plant chorus fruit on here, you press the button, and we just basically have a massive array of dispensers for the arrows. They pop the chorus flowers off, and then yeah, water pops open, press the button again, water gets sucked in. No arrows, very important thing. So then all you do, pick up some forest flowers, fly into there hopefully. Hopefully don't get stuck in the storage system. You also then pick up a load of arrows that you don't want. And then you just go ahead and plant all of the chorus flowers. If you really want to, all the arrows you picked up, you can go and chuck back in the dispensers. I, however, don't want them, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, that there is episode 40. Episode 41. Episode 41 was actually an interesting episode. So, because it was just a little simple stone generator, cobblestone farm here, I actually recorded my sort of design process going on for this one. So if you want to watch a little bit about my process around designing a farm, then do go ahead and watch that video. Again, if you need them, my socials are there. There's my YouTube channel, oops, my VODs channel, and my Instagram as well. And yeah, so this is my nice, efficient cobblestone farm. To be honest, I probably should have built this a lot sooner. When you need that many observers for a farm, or that many pistons for a farm, you need a lot of cobblestone. A lot of cobblestone. But yeah, no, that was a very interesting video to record. Despite it being such a simple farm. Anyway, 42. We've actually technically already seen it by accident. But it's over here. It's my pumpkin and melon farm. Again, another farm to hook an auto crafter setup to, so you can craft the melon slices into melon blocks. You can see that going there, obviously. Items stuck on the ground, you can turn the minecarts off. And watch everything pop out at the end there, and get scooped up. Anyway, episode 43, just through this portal, is my raid farm. Wait a second. That notebook fired. That notebook shouldn't have fired. Or I'm hearing things. This is my raid farm. It's the ENX-04 design. I mean, most people probably familiar with it. It's been built so many different places. Yep, the practical stacking raid farm. It's a good design. Works well. I did tweak the storage system slightly for post 117 with a laze. And yeah, I've used a laze to actually filter out the totems. We've also got shulker box loaders all the way down here, so a few emeralds. Is that my gunpowder? Oh no, this is redstone dust, I think. Then gunpowder and glowstone dust, just again those lot. And then just a few totems. It's quite a lot of totems here. The other thing I should mention about episode 43 actually is we flattened it a little bit over here by a pillager outpost. It's why we built the raid farm just there, because there's a pillager outpost there. I can't hydrate at this second in time. They don't have a drink. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. What is this called? Pillager outpost. There's a pillager outpost here, which is why I built the raid farm just over there, so I could kill a captain, hop through into this portal here, run across to that portal, and don't worry, I did refund your points. I did refund them. I think I should have done. Yeah, then you hop through into this portal here, and the raid starts, and you just chop away. Yeah, episode 44, I made a slightly crucial mistake on with it, which is the reason there's a wither boss bar here. This is the Bitheros farm, so 1.20 actually fixed the whole Enderman not getting exploded by wither skulls. And so we can hop up here. This is a Razeworks design, I think. Yes. And yeah, Endermen spawn here. As they should do. There they go. Fall down here. Get exploded by the wither. Drop the wither roses, which then get stored down there. The slight mishap I made with this farm is that, and primarily that. Because of course this needs to Enderman to spawn to run, however shulkers count towards the mob cap. So all of the shulkers in these end cities, not to mention my shulker farm, are actually taking up the mob cap and we're stopping the Enderman from spawning. So I actually had to spend a stream after I built this, culling all of the shulkers in these end cities. Obviously I can't exactly cull the ones in the shulker farm, which is a bit of a shame, but it works well enough. Don't really need any wither roses, but good to have a proper farm for it. Episode 45, and this is sort of the last one we'll properly cover. Of course, the final finished farm in the world. It's stupid that this is the final farm I actually finished here. Is my wool farm. Of all the things to have completed last, it was a freaking wool farm. Yep, I built a mud and clay farm before that. I built 2 wither rose farms. I built multiple tree farms. I built a chorus fruit farm. I built concrete converters. So, what did I do before that? Well, sorry. Yeah. The wool farm, which I should have really done before that, I did last. Which you can tell it's not been running much because there's not a whole lot of wool in here. And that is it for the finished projects on this world. And you'll notice there I used a couple words like completed farms or finished projects. And you'll also notice there's probably one quite common farm missing. Which brings us to episode 46. Which is... this is one of the saddest things I have about ending this world here. Is... because episode 46 I started a farm. And... now I'm just not going to get to finish it. Not on this world anyway. Maybe I'll come back later and finish it, but... because episode 46 is titled Draining an Ocean Monument with Flying Machines. And you might have seen this earlier when we were at the slime farm and the raid farm. But yeah, here is where there used to be an ocean monument. And in fact I might even be able to show you, yeah. There was going to be a guardian farm here. I have built this guardian farm before. On a sub-server at Fortanisha, who you've probably heard me talk about a lot if you've been in the stream before. I think this as well is part of my lack of motivation to keep going with this world is the fact that I've built this technically twice before, once in creative and once in survival. And while I've got most of the redstone blocks and stuff here, I don't have all of the glass, and it is an incredibly large amount of glass. I think I don't have most of the deep slate here. The wall is actually going to, the floor and stuff is actually going to be concrete and more glass, like this pattern here. And every time I sit down and want to gather the materials, I just don't want to. And it does really hurt me to leave a project like this unfinished. But again, yeah, I just have to, I feel like it has to finish now. And to be fair, the unfinished projects aren't the thing I'm most annoyed about when it comes to leaving stuff, or when it comes to finishing the world now. It's the fact that I've gone on record saying, you know, there's going to be 3 more episodes before the world finale, finish the garden farm for episode 47, and then 2 more farms, 48, 49, and then the world tour of 50. That's what I'm most annoyed by, because I've been on record and I said this is how I'm going to end the series, and now I'm going back on it pretty much, and I'm finishing it early. I'm doing the finale early. But yeah. Look at it on the bright side though, it's just because there's a lot of really cool stuff coming. A lot to look forward to. And yeah. Now before we head off, there is one last project to visit. That never really got finished. If you've been in my streams before, you might recognise it. And this is one that I'm really gutted that I won't get to do, and probably won't get a chance to try again for a long time. They're still floating nether actually. And this is my nether perimeter. I was really looking forward to building another perimeter. This is where all my slime went from the slime farm. But between a lot of stuff at uni at the end of last year, a lot of stuff just IRL at the end of last year, content creation stuff, this had to take a back burner. I got this far, and the problem is the things to do after this would be to take this entire thing down, run it again lower down, and I'd have to dig the trenches down. I'd have to dig the trenches out along the edges, then I'd have to build the World Eater, then I'd have to run the World Eater, and it was just going to take so much time. And this project here was for a ghast farm. I think that's the other thing, is because it wasn't for anything that was particularly necessary. I was perhaps too comfortable putting on the back burner. Maybe I started a bit too late in the series. Maybe I should have got going straight after I'd built the slime farm, perhaps. But this is one of the ones that I'm saddest that I've not got to finish properly. And yeah, being a World Eater, you know, I'm not going to be allowed to build it on Interrealm. They don't allow those sorts of things, which is completely reasonable. They are very resource intensive on the computer side. And yeah, maybe one day there'll be a special permission for something, but for now I just have to be content with that. Which is, it's a shame. Yeah, it is a shame. But you know, there's still so much more fun, cool stuff to look forward to. Interrealms is going to be probably a bit more building focused for me. I've been really getting into trying to hone my skills on that, as I've already said today. But yeah, and that will that concludes the world. 2 hours 40. Well, 2.5 hours, maybe a bit under, due to technical difficulties. But yeah, it's been really special playing this world, and I'm not normally one to get nostalgic and sentimental. I very much live a life of, yeah, stuff happens, I do it, I get on with it. But yeah, it's weird to have it ending. Let me pop those blaze rods away. Yeah, you can see those are the resources that I had prepared for the Guardian farm. But yeah, so we're gonna do a bit of cleaning up here, and then let me put these ender pearls away. I'm gonna throw my stuff in the chest. I will hopefully be doing a world download for this. Not that I particularly expect anybody to use it. So yeah, everything in my inventory is going to be going into this here chest. Where's my ender chest? I'm going to put the ender chest contents down here in the order that I like to have stuff, because I'm going to be like that. And there it is, all of my stuff. The end of the season. Some almost broken elytras there. yeah, I've really enjoyed playing on this world. It's very surreal to be at the end of this stream. Like, I mean, I know I'm sure there's probably a lot of people looking at this thinking, oh, I probably look like an idiot here. But this is my first world as someone doing YouTube streaming. You know, I've solved all sorts of problems. I've grown. I've got Twitch affiliate. You know, I've had my first comments on my videos. I've had, you know, crazy things on stream. I've had raids. I've met so many other cool creators and stuff throughout the duration of this. And I'm gonna go sleep as well beforehand. You know, I've learned so much about how I like to play the game, farming and stuff. I've grown building. You know, and yeah, it's really weird. And to be logging out of this world for the final time, most likely, because I doubt that I'll be logging back into this world. And that, I guess I'll see you on Saturday for some Satisfactory. But for now, the last time out of the Farming Minecraft world, goodbye.